Hello, my friends. So I've got a super cool feature in Poser that I bet most of you didn't know about. It's to do with the material room. So what I have here is a pyramid. Let's go into the auxiliary camera. Oh, I'm in the auxiliary camera. Okay, that's cool. So we've got a pyramid here, and it's here, step pyramid. If I go into the material room, you'll see that it comprises a single material, preview, which is kind of lazy, old school. So nothing special there. But what if you wanted to change the material of just the top few layers? How would you do that? In the past, what you'd probably do is change the material for the whole thing, render it twice, and then composite in your favorite image editor. But how about this fantastic trick? So I go into a more or less a front camera, I go to the grouping tool, and I make a group of the layers that I want to change. So I'm just going to go around here and I'm going to go add to group, and I'm just going to draw there. So I'm in marquee mode. I could just draw it on instead, but marquee mode works fine. And I'm going to go around here. I guess if I viewed in wireframe, this might be quicker. Okay, I've not gone low enough, have I? Okay, let's go back round. I could have just chosen the top one and just done grow, 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 which is somewhere. Where's the grow? There. And it would have just gradually gone down the steps, but I'm just going to show you this way. Okay, so the top few bricks now are selected in the group tool. All I need to do now is assign material, and I'm going to call that top. And now, when I come out of the group tool and into the material tool, you'll see there's now a new material called top. And at the moment it has nothing assigned to it, so I'm just going to assign a material. Let me see, lava, and you will see that now, even though this pyramid only had a single material, I've now assigned UVs so that this upper part is separate. So what are UVs? They are coordinate systems which divide a 3D surface into areas that you can assign material. So a classic example would be Victoria down here. If I go into the material room, you'll see when I choose her body or her torso, you'll see here this UV is a flattened version of her skin texture wrapping around her torso. So what happens is that when you create your model, you do what's known as UV unwrapping, and that basically converts a 3D figure into a 2D UV, and then you can divide that into separate areas. So here the legs are different, the arms are different, the face and the neck are different, and so on. But the problem with Poser is that once you import a model, most people don't realize that there's no way to change the UVs. Now, let me just go into Victoria and show you when that's not going to work. This technique that I've just showed you is fantastic for what's known as hard body models. That's things like cars, especially buildings. You could use it for some landscape features. Maybe you could, excuse me, you could change the color of a trunk of a tree if it wasn't separate, or halfway down the trunk, something like that. Or depending on how careful you are, you could do more complicated things. But if we go into Victoria here and go into that same tool, so I've selected her now, and I do the same tool, and you'll see that whole area there is one solid thing. Basically, it lets you choose polygons. That what it's doing at the moment is choosing areas that textures are assigned to. So that's upper arm, lower arm, probably face, and so on. But what I can do is I can choose individual polygons, but the polygons. So supposing I want to choose her nose here. So I go into here, and you'll see that this has automatically selected the group called head. So what if I say new group, and we'll just call that nose, and I wanted to select the nose to be in that group. So I'm going to choose draw mode this time, and I'm going to see how much of that nose I can draw. And you'll see what it's doing is it's adding the polygons for the nose. In fact, no, I'll keep it in draw mode. So here, I can only add where polygon boundaries go. So you'll see here around the edge of the nose, it's kind of square and chunky. So that's not going to work so well. But with things like car bodies where there's a clear delineation between one area and another, and they generally tend to follow along straight polygon lines, you can use this tool to add material zones to figures which didn't originally have material zones. For example, supposing you've got a house and it's one of those old houses or the badly designed houses that I showed you recently where all of the walls are one solid object. So you want to change the wallpaper on the back wall, but you can't because it's a single object that just takes a single tileable texture. With this now, very, very easy, and I'll just show you how that grow works while I'm at it. And you'll see, what was that, plus? Yeah, there you go. Every time I do plus, it grows the selection a little bit wider. It's probably minus to do, shrink it back down. There you go. So with this, it's very easy to select a single flat surface, assign it a new group, and then I can put a material to that thing alone, which it didn't originally come with, or to create a material zone that didn't originally exist. Anyway, guys, I hope you found that useful. Just a quickie. You have a great time, and if you live in England, for goodness sakes, take care. Heat warning this week. What's it at the moment? It's 30 degrees now at midnight, almost midnight. Gonna get as high as 37, I believe, so be careful. You have a fantastic week, and I'll speak to you again soon.